This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
All right there, how's it going? Welcome to the British English Podcast, a show that gives you culture and language all in one. All in one, yes. In this week's episode, we're going to be reading through a classic children's book that British people were brought up on. And I'll be adding my thoughts or commentary as we go through it. So, I've chosen The Elves and the Shoemaker. And before you Germans listening start trying to file a complaint, yes, I know it was written originally by the Brothers Grimm, 2 German lads with a knack for slightly spooky but charming tales. But this one's been so loved and retold over the years that it's become part of British bedtime story culture too. So let's look at this timeless little story, The Elves and the Shoemaker, and see what lessons and bits of language we can pull out of it along the way. And I've actually adapted it slightly to be a modern British retelling, as the language structure was rather archaic. And I think it would actually have really just confused a non-native and not benefited you as a modern day language learner. So, yes, let's begin the story. Here we go. The Elves and the Shoemaker, a modern British retelling. Once upon a time, there was a kind and hard-working shoemaker who had fallen on hard times. That's a shame. But to be honest, cobblers never really give off a wealthy air about them, do they? I don't think they do. Oh. Anyway, no matter how hard he tried, he never seemed to earn enough to get by. I mean, I think the majority of us can relate to that, right? At last, he had only enough leather left to make one final pair of shoes. That's leaving it a little too late, isn't it? Surely he should have knocked it on the head by now. I mean, if he sells that one pair, he's got the profit margin alone to keep his shop running, his family fed, his home heated. I suppose there's no Wi-Fi costs back then. Maybe not even any heating. Maybe not even a mortgage. Gosh. Yeah. They just probably inherited an old shack from their family and took over the father's business. So maybe not too many bills. But still, he should have done something about this by now, surely. Now, I don't know your exact level of English, but I've already used a number of intermediate to advanced phrases such as shack or mortgage or cobblers. And I think I said to give off a wealthy air. In an ideal world, I would stop and explain them as I go, but YouTube doesn't often favour detailed videos. You've got to be quick ish and snappy, but I still want to teach you the words. So what I've done is created a free PDF for you to go through that assists this video with all the tricky vocabulary. It even includes a number of quizzes to really help you get active and actually remember the vocabulary you're being exposed to in this very video. To grab it, scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the show notes, description box or comments section. That link will lead you to this page. Fill out your name and email so I can send you the PDF directly to your email inbox. All right. Back to the Elves and the Shoemaker.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least that was the plan. Except now the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
That evening, he carefully cut out the pieces of leather and laid them neatly on his workbench, ready to sew in the morning. Feeling tired but hopeful, he said a quiet prayer and went to bed. I'd imagine his wife would want him to actually make the shoes by now, if that's his last pair. I mean, if this is his last pair, doesn't that mean he runs a shoe shop and has no shoes available to sell right now? I mean, no wonder he's fallen on hard times. Every time he gets a customer in through the door, he has nothing to sell them. I'll get one pair for you next week. Rubbish. Come on, make some more. The Industrial Revolution has happened. Maybe, I don't know. The next morning, when he came into his workshop, he stopped in shock. On the table stood a beautiful pair of shoes. Perfectly made, not a single stitch out of place. Wow. Not sure what kind of shoe you're imagining, but I'm thinking of a work boot or like a Timberland kind of hiking boot, minus the logo. Imagine, though, if this was the beginning of Timberland, the company, that would be a real rags to riches one, wouldn't it? Before long, a customer came in, thank the Lord, saw the shoes and was so impressed that he paid more than the usual price. The shoemaker was delighted. With the extra money, he bought another leather to make 2 pairs of shoes. I mean, what can I say? He's a cool, calculated businessman. I've made some profit. Let's reinvest on these puppies. That evening, he cut out the leather again, left it on the table, and went to bed. When he came down the next morning, there they were. 2 pairs of shoes finished to perfection. I think I'm going to skate past the elephant in the room, whereby he's just fine with some unknown thing breaking into his shop and doing his job for him without asking for anything in return. This continued night after night. Whatever leather he left out, the shoes were magically made by morning. Before long, the shoemaker was earning enough to live comfortably again, and he and his wife were happier than they'd been in years. Well, yeah, he's got free labour and disposable income again. Still, though, there's something about the fact that there's this thing coming inside his house every night, and he just hasn't done anything to find out what it is or who it is. I mean, get a pet cam or something. As Christmas approached, the shoemaker said to his wife, I can't. No. How's he going to sound? I'm a shoemaker. I make shoes. My voice is like leather voice. I'm an ogre. I can't help but wonder who's been helping us all this time. What do you say we stay up tonight and see? This guy doesn't exactly react quickly, does he? Oh no, I have 1 shoe's worth of leather left. What should I do? Maybe I should have responded a year ago. Oh, I wonder what this random entity is that has been doing my job for the last 3 months. Maybe we should find out. His wife agreed, and that evening they lit a candle and hid quietly behind some coats hanging on the wall. What about your legs? Coats won't hide them. Certainly not your feet. Try a wardrobe or a closet next time, guys, or just leave a device out to spy on them. Just, wait until we've learned how to turn sand into glass into circuit boards, that into microchips, and then microchips into handheld rectangles that can order a McDonald's to your door and record in 4K. And yeah, then use that device to spy on these weird little people coming in. But yeah, they didn't want to do that. Let's just go behind the coat rack. At midnight, 2 tiny elves appeared, completely naked. They hopped up onto the workbench and began to stitch, hammer, and sew with incredible speed, still naked. Their little fingers moved so fast, the shoemaker could hardly believe his eyes. Are you imagining male or female elves right now? I'm imagining male elves, naked, working very fast. Yeah, bit weird, isn't it? In no time at all, the shoes were finished, and the elves disappeared into the night. The next morning, the shoemaker's wife said, "Those poor little elves have nothing to wear. They must be freezing. Let's make some clothes to say thank you." I'm sorry. I've got a few more concerns that trump that one. What are elves? What are elves? That's what I would say. What is that in my shop? And why are they making my shoes? Why are they coming into my shop? What is an elf? And then, okay, yes. Why are they fucking naked? I bet it's a sex thing. Bet it's a fetish of theirs. Like they like going into strange people's homes naked and work on somebody else's things. And I bet it's a fetish, isn't it? So she set to work sewing 2 tiny shirts, coats, trousers, and even knitted them a pair of stockings each. The shoemaker made them 2 miniature pairs of shoes. Respect to the old cobbler for having such skill and finesse. Although this does beg the question why they wouldn't just sew the clothes for themselves. Knew it was a kink of some sort. That night, instead of leaving out leather, they placed the little outfits on the table and hid once more. Back to the trusty coat rack. It might have originally been a coat stand. Yes, that's probably what it was. Yeah, a coat stands alone and I think it has 2 tiers to it so that they would cover you from head to toe. Yeah, it would. But it would still be very narrow. And there's 2 of them. They had fallen on hard times, though, so maybe they were just skin and bones. But yeah. Shall I move on from the coat rack? All right. When the clock struck 12, the elves appeared. They were puzzled at first, but when they saw the clothes, their faces lit up with joy. They dressed quickly and began to sing. I've got to do some elves singing now, okay? So I'm a little boy. I'm a little boy. I'm a little elf boy. Little elf boy. Yay, I like sewing and being naked. Now we are boys, so fine to see. Why should we longer cobbles be? That was kind of the structure throughout the whole of the original. So, yeah, really confusing for a non-native and a native in this modern day. Then they danced around the room, leaping over benches and chairs. Not naked now, that's good. Laughing all the while. Finally, they skipped out of the house and were never seen again. Absolutely gutting. Isn't this teaching us terrible morals? Let's do the last bit and then come back to this thought. But yeah. But the shoemaker and his wife never forgot their kindness. From that night on, luck seemed to follow them elsewhere, and their little shop was busy and full of laughter for the rest of their days. Okay, bit better. I initially thought it meant don't question anything suspicious that you seem to get instant gratification from, and then also don't reward anyone for their kindness because it gives them a leg up in life to be able to prosper at your detriment. That would be a terrible moral, wouldn't it? Maybe relevant to this day and age, but no, I think it's just meaning be thoughtful, show kindness, and you'll be treated the same, right? Not unlike karma, loosely speaking. But there we go. The Elves and the Shoemaker, a very strange children's book, in my opinion, one that I remember reading as a child that often gave me an uneasy feeling. It may have been the illustrations, but it all felt a bit gothic and almost like a horror film. It's just a bit creepy, isn't it? Little weird things coming in. If you are an elf, I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset you. But yeah, I'm a bit creeped out by that. But what do you think? Do you like these elves? Do you like this story? Were you told it as a kid? Let me know in the comments on Spotify or YouTube. Also, don't forget to grab that PDF of the intermediate to advanced vocabulary to 3x your likelihood of being able to use it in a real conversation next time you need it. So scan the QR code on screen or find the link in the show notes, description box, or comments section. And then if you wanted to learn, practice, and then feel confident in using the vocabulary that came up in this episode, mainly from my commentary, the story was fairly basic. There are a few phrases here and there that are quite nice, but yeah, mainly from the commentary that I used. Any of the language that came up through that, if you want to learn, practice, and then feel confident in using it yourself in a real conversation, then you'll want to join the Academy, where I have helped hundreds of people level up their English, all the while having a fun and enjoyable experience. But yeah, we will leave it there for today. If you did want to check out the Academy, check the link below, or just go to thebritishenglishpodcast.com/academy. But yeah, my name is Charlie, and you've been listening to the British English Podcast. Bye-bye.